What's up, everybody? How are we doing today? Hope everybody's having an awesome Thursday. Welcome to episode 5 of Damn Good After Dark. Let me get my background here. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you've had a good day. We are rocking and rolling. Waiting on the boys to get online. Get them into the chat room. Hey, Bill. How you doing, buddy? What's up, Mike? How you doing, buddy? What's going on, Bowling Nerd? How you doing, sir? As soon as Curtis and Dustin come into the chat, we'll get them at it. How's everybody been doing? Like I said, I hope your Thursday's been great. Man. There's Dustin. Let's get him invited in here. There's Dustin. I'm on live. What's up, bro?
We're on live.
Yeah, we're on live. What's going on, Joseph? Welcome in. Not much, man. Just trying not to move a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, dude. I'm cold. Like that ought to tell you everything about how I feel right now.
It's been cold since I got out of my car to go to Branson's game, dude. It's freaking cold out there.
Dude, this is stupid. The first day of spring. Oh gosh. So
Sitting out there for 2 hours watching a middle school soccer game.
ugh. More power to you, buddy. Like I went to work at 1 and I left at 3:30. I told Curtis, I said, dude, I can't. I had already been to the bathroom like 5 or 6 times. I said, Curtis, I'm going home. I said, Tara will be here at 5. So, and I just came home and I literally laid down and I slept for about 2.5 hours till my mom woke me up.
That's good. At least you got some rest.
Dude, and when we're done with this, it's going to be easy to fall asleep again, too. That's why I'm wearing my beanie, dude. Like, it's cold here in the living room. You know something's wrong with me if I'm freezing.
Nah, it's cold too. It's cold here. I've been cold forever. That's why I got mine on.
So
I had my snuggle hoodie on just until the podcast. I looked like a huge marshmallow guy. It was so warm and cozy though.
yeah. Well, everybody coming in, I appreciate you guys coming in and watching us tonight. We're just waiting on Mr. Wright out here, and he literally said he had just walked in the door. So he's probably getting his stuff situated as we speak.
Slap some lights down.
Yeah, let's do that. Kevin.
I'm gonna see if I can hit 100 even. Give me 103.
Hit it on the dot.
103. I got 103.
Hey, we got Kevin liking the live, and yeah. So
you sipping on some fluids? I know you always got your water on. You needed some chicken broth or something,
bro.
Buddy,
I'm going to tell you right now, dude. I actually drank a Gatorade at work today. I was like, I need some electrolytes.
Yeah, this should warm me up.
Let's see. I took like a shot of Coca-Cola because usually Coca-Cola calms an upset stomach. So, and
that
that's
was
all
my
I've
favorite
had.
after a hangover, dude. After a hangover, I needed a carbonated drink. I needed Coke or something.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. Kevin's like, how hard is it to get some Shelf Talkers updated? But Kevin, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't have control over the Shelf Talkers. I just do the SKUs, but even sometimes people take it upon themselves just to make their own SKUs. So yeah. Kevin works in one of our Bowling World stores, so that's what that reference is from. But I try. But all right, come on, Mr. Rideout. I got a feeling he's going to tell us he had a rough night at the center for a Thursday. Mm-hmm. Bowling Nerd, thanks for liking the live. Everybody, thank you for liking the live. I do appreciate it. We are at episode 5. Episode 5 of Damn Good After Dark. We were going to do it last week, but some stuff came up, but here we are. And that's what I was telling Dustin earlier. I was like, I'm not going to cancel tonight because of how I feel. We're going to do it. We're going to get it out of the way. We're going to do what we need to do.
Episode of 5, After Dark. I like it.
Right. So while we're waiting on Curtis, why don't you tell the crowd what kind of topics we're going to be discussing?
We have some really good topics, and it's episode 5. So we're introducing something new tonight that we want to try that I think the idea stemmed from our very own Tanya talking about having people join in, this and that. So we thought about it and was like, well, hey, every 5 episodes, we're going to think of like old rock talk jock type dudes like the Howard Sterns and this and that on the DJ radio, where people can call in and, yap about something, the point, the topic they're talking about, and then they're back out. So that's going to be the theme of it after we go through this awesome list of topics that we have tonight. After we do check-in for the wide world of sports is where we have several things here. Just to gloss over them, starting with hockey, college football, which we added to actually since we had to postpone. There's some more juicy info on that. The UFL, which actually I pulled up right here, and WrestleMania. So we're going to
a lot of good
those
stuff.
things, and then we're going to open it up to see who's got to say what about what.
Why do you put so much emphasis on the H?
In what? What do you refer?
Yeah, there you go. Just say what.
What?
No, you put so much emphasis on the H. That's a Family Guy reference for anybody that may not get that.
And it's still fun every time, man.
It is. It is definitely fun. A whole lot. Come on, Mr. Rideout.
Hey, I thought of a good line for the intro to After Dark.
What's that?
We were getting on in our group chat. And DGAP After Dark is a place to get away from everything and talk about anything.
I like it. I definitely like that. That sounds pretty badass to me, my friend.
One of those I had to write down before I lost it.
Before you forgot it. Yeah.
And I had to even be looking at it while I was writing it to make sure it didn't go away.
Right.
I would do that, man, when I hosted comedy back at Patty's. I ran the show, so I was the first to introduce the comedians and this and that, tell them how the show would go and blah, 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 make sure everybody's good. Even if I'd worked with them before and I knew who they were, I still had I've got a box of them upstairs, actually. My little yellow pad, I would write out all the crucial details that I needed, and I'd slip it in my vest pocket because I knew once I was done running my mouth with the crowd work and everything, I was like, I'm going to forget. What's up, buddy? And so I still have my cheat sheet right there in front of me.
I told you, he looks like he's just over today.
You still look good, though. I'd say you're the best dressed right now.
Yeah.
It's cold. That's why I'm wearing it.
The turtleneck, the tactile neck.
I like it.
How was it tonight, buddy?
We were busy, like full house tonight.
Ooh.
And I was telling Amber, I was already annoyed because there was a lot going on. But then this one bitch came in, and she got there at 11:45. And I told her we had maybe a 20-minute wait. 7:45, thank you. 7:45. And I was like, we have a 20-minute wait. And she goes, but that means we won't get the full 3 hours for our all-you-can-bowl. And I said, ma'am, you're not going to get the 3 hours anyway because it's 7:45 and we close at 10. She goes, but we want the full 3 hours. And I was like, ma'am, there's no possible way that can happen. And we go back and forth with this for at least 7 minutes. Me trying to explain this to her. And then she goes, so you're telling me we just can't get the full 3 hours, just get 2 hours and some change? I said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, why? And I go, because that's how time works.
Inappropriate.
It was. I was done at that point.
That's
No, not
seems
inappropriate.
quite-
That's what happens when you've reached a limit of trying your level of professionalism, and you've had enough because either she was just being a smartass or she just, again, well, I'm gonna say she's being a smartass more than anything.
When I was talking to Croft about it, he was like, she probably wanted you to either like discount the price because they weren't going to get the full time, or like stay open later. And I was like, well, I was going to do neither of those things.
Yeah, and then explain it in a reasonable manner. That's how time works.
Yes, it's just unlimited bowling. It doesn't say 3 hours. It just says bowl from the time you pay until we close. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
Actually, let's not. Yeah, that's
That was checking in with Curtis Rideout, everybody.
exactly, yes, and exactly what we expected, and actually what we're going to be coming back to when we get to bring it to the table. So well done, Curtis.
Great job, buddy.
You nailed it,
Oh,
buddy.
hey! I'll tell you something else he needs to tell you about. So one of them girls that used to work at Baumhauer's, she brought my cinnamon rolls to me tonight, and I told her to go see Curtis so he could put them in the shop for me. And this mofo, I'll let you explain it.
Well, she walked in, and me and Nick were sitting at the counter, and I'm saying, this was a baddie, man. I was like, damn, when I saw her. She's like, oh, yes, I have these for Mike. And I'm like, this dude's got, like, these women bringing him sweets and stuff. And we exchanged, and she gave it to me. And when she walked, I looked at Nick, and Nick's jaw just dropped as she's walking away. And I called Mike. I'm like, you didn't tell me you were going to have a baddie like that bringing you sweets and stuff here. I wasn't ready for that. But then he told me she was married and had kids and ruined the fantasy completely.
She's like 25, 26, and her husband's my age, and they got 2 kids together. But no, she's a sweetheart. Like I said, I can't wait to try those tomorrow. Hopefully my stomach is not doing what it's doing right now.
Patrick, we have a good time. We have a good time.
Yes, we do.
Really, anywhere we're at.
All right. Sorry, Dustin. I'm already going off track here. You take over, man.
You are good, dude. You are. So how about your check-in, Mike? How have you been late? Other than sick, we know that you're sick and can't keep anything down and losing weight.
It's not a fever or anything. It is my stomach. Like literally in the bathroom every 2 to 3 minutes. I got home, and then God bless my mom. I love her to death. She was just like, let me look and see what could be wrong. And she's sitting here trying to explain everything to me. I was like, Mom, I just want to sit here for 5 minutes. Just quiet, please. Like when you're not feeling good, you don't want to hear anything. So, and it was funny about it is like I got up and I was like, I'm gonna go lay down. And I think when guys are sick, and if our moms are close by, like I was literally like laying down and I was like, Mom. And she comes and she goes, what? I said, can you just sit in this chair with me till I fall asleep? Because I got a chair next to my bed. And she goes, really? I said, please. And then she starts putting my damn shirts up. And I was like, Mom, I'll get that when I wake up. I just want you to sit in the chair. So, needless to say. And of course, then she goes back in there and she goes, it's 7:30. I was like, yeah. I said, I'm going to lay down here. Just wake me up at 8:30. And she goes, it's 8:30. I was like, yeah, great. Tell me when it's 9:30. It's 9:30. Okay, I'm getting up. So just I'm glad to have. I don't care what anybody says. I know we butt heads a lot, and I hope she hears this. But I'm really glad to have my mom here. I really am. She looks after your boy when he's sick, and I think that's just a normal parent thing. Like it don't matter how old you are and how old they are. They're going to make sure their kids are okay.
Yes, and we appreciate her doing that.
Yeah. So that's my check-in. But other than that, I'm good. I'm good. I just this stuff right here with the stomach. I mean, I'm sitting here like, have you ever been in a situation where it's like, please, I can't muster the energy to go to the bathroom because I literally counted about 20 times today. Literally, I'm like, I can't. Like, I want to lay down. Like, I want to go to sleep. Like, I have no energy. But then I got up for a little bit and I ate a couple pieces of pizza because I was like, I got to eat something. So here we are, y'all.
Here we are.
What about y'all?
Doing pretty good lately. I got a tree that's been kicking my ass that I'm getting to chop up. I got exactly what I asked for. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you guys. But we dropped an oak tree down at Ron's a couple weekends ago, like freaking huge oak tree. And I was like, hey, I want to get some of that so I can chop it up to burn some of this gravy and help me work out and this and that. It'll be great. Dude, I got exactly what I want. It is a brand new fresh oak tree with, I'll send you pictures, but each pellet is probably about that big around and that thick of fresh oak. And my axe, when I started, which is a really good axe that I've chopped wood with before, it's doing nothing on top of these oak pellets, dude. Like the piece of oak's just laughing at it. So I went and got a wedge and a sledgehammer yesterday at Harbor Freight and finally got through the first one. Got it split in half. It felt like such a victory. And then I'm starting to get the rhythm down to wedge each piece now off of it. It sounds weird. I'm not trying to be funny, but the first thing that gave out on me was like my grip, like right in here, my grip here, and my forearms. That's what cashed out the first. I was like, all right, we're building tolerance up for this, but I have so much that I got exactly what I asked for, but it's nice.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Mr. Rideout.
I was doing good until that bitch tonight. I've actually been in a good mood. I mean, now that I'm getting away from it, I'm actually starting to calm down and get back to my good mood. I've actually been pretty good lately.
Well, since you're calming down, let's move right into bring to the table. We'll do bring to the table, and then we got Wide Roller Sports, and we'll open it up. So you're bringing to the table this week. Do you want to go ahead and take it away? Do you remember what you got?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how to be a good customer.
Yes, and also employees. If you want to start with the employees that make life better, so you got that, and how to be a good customer. So you can start where you like and finish where you like.
Well, given the event today, I'm going to start with customer.
Okay. Good choice.
I think the customers that we have that are the best customers are the ones who manage to look past the name tag and the occupation and to see the person behind the counter as a actual person. I think that's where it starts. And I'm going to bring up the best person who does that, and that is, our favorite bowler, Michelle Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
There was one day that I was having a horrible day, like top 10 horrible day. And I went outside and they were smoking, and I was smoking a cigarette. She just looked at me and said, "Curtis, you really look like you need a hug." And I said, "Thanks, Michelle. Nah, I'm okay." She goes, "No, no, no, no." And she grabbed me and she pulled me into a hug. And it wasn't one of those fake hugs. It was like a both hand. She had my head resting on her shoulder, and she held me for like 30 good seconds.
How'd you feel afterwards?
It helped a lot. And it was the hug, and it was like, actually, wow, someone cares. Someone saw someone in need, and it's like, oh, he works here. Suck it up. No, she's like, that's the person in need, and they need something, and this is what I can give them. And it helped a lot. What do you say? It gets really aggravating at my bowling alley when people demand things when clearly I'm busy. That was going to be my next thing. Patience.
Yeah.
Patience with people. Especially when you can visibly see them. Like if they're short-staffed, I'm sure there's an expression that we have when we're short-staffed that everybody who works in the service industry, there's an expression you have. And everybody knows, it's like, oh, they tearing you up today? Well, you can clearly see it on my face. Don't talk to me. But it's patience and understanding with people. That also makes a good customer. Mm-hmm. I'll be at the counter and people expect me to drop everything to help them. Yes. I had it today where I was talking to a customer and I was explaining to them how much it costs and the lanes and everything. And in the background, one of the bowlers was literally screaming, "Curtis! Curtis!" while I'm in mid-conversation with a customer. That bugs me so much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It would bug any regular sane adult.
That league bowler clearly thought they were more important than the customer I had in front of me.
Yeah.
And were we not all taught as children not to interrupt people like that? That would have got me hit when I was a kid. If adults were talking, someone's talking, I just came and just started talking. No.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
A thing on that, if I can point out what you're talking about, how you are something that you do very well naturally. But because my big thing, like with sales, I first started this with the cell phone stores. I'd have to go there, get a new phone, or pay. I used to pay my bill there, back in the day. And you always have to wait forever at Sprint, wherever you go. And my thing was always, because there's like one or two dudes working, right? The one guy, as long as the salesperson, I'll wait in line all day. That salesperson just kind of does one of these, acknowledge, hey, like working on it. For me, that disarms me immediately, and I'm like, take your time, bro. You know what I mean? I totally get it. I'll help. You want me to stock this? Like, cool. I'll wait here. Let me know when you're ready. Because also you can kind of shoot yourself in the foot by not even acknowledging. Because now I'm like, I don't even want to stay here and give you my business anymore. But you naturally do that very well, and I think that goes so far, dude, with the customers. Because then they see that person you're talking about. Then they see that human being more.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I was also taught that it doesn't matter how busy you are. If someone comes up, I mean, even if you can't help them, acknowledge them. That goes a long way. No one should stand there for like 30 seconds and no one talk to them. That's just terrible.
Acknowledge me.
What?
Acknowledge me.
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
But patience, understanding, those things go a long way. Because what happened to that bowler is I ignored them. I'm not even gonna lie. I just ignored them.
That was kind of another question I was going to ask you. I almost wish my kids were here to hear this. I was going to ask you because of them almost, because I'm telling them the same stuff. How much, as a customer service worker, when you do have customers that are cool like that, how's your response to them towards people that are not?
They get ignored. Well, I've actually called out some because this person has done it before. And as soon as the person walked away, I turned around and said, I'm not naming them, but Bowler X, did you not see me talking to somebody? And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, no. You're not sorry. You're sorry because I'm confronting you about it. But you saw a conversation with somebody, and your manners just went completely out the door. Another thing is whistling. I hate whistling. Don't ever whistle at me because I'm not a dog.
My big thing is snap. Don't snap at me.
Don't snap at me.
Snap. Yeah.
It feels dehumanizing. Don't like it. No, the whistling is dehumanizing. The snapping is like I'm under you. I don't like that one.
I'll give you an example. A long time ago, my dad was an assistant service manager at Woody Anderson Ford, and old lady Ford, the old man's wife, customer was waiting to be taken care of. Well, old lady Ford went up to my dad and said, "Hey, you, go help them." And my dad literally looked at her and said, "Excuse me, I have a name tag. You can address me by my name."
I remember I had just gotten out of the Marines. I was going to Lane Community College. This was probably 04, 05. And I was in theater. I went to audition for a play. I don't know what was going on, but it was happening. So I went to audition. And I wasn't friends with this dude yet. Him and I became really good friends. And he was a fantastic actor. Didn't know who he was at this point, though. But in the auditions, I didn't know anybody there either. Like, I was just new to the place. And it wasn't degrading. They weren't like, "Hey, boy, it's your turn," talking to my other talking to the other guy. But they're like, "Okay, dude," or something like that. And I remember he handled it so smoothly for a kid. Because, I mean, I was 24, but I was still a child in my eyes now. You know what I mean? He's like 10 or 20 years old. He handled it so smoothly. He's like, "Actually, my name's Chris. If you're ready for me, okay." And I was just like, that still stands with me today because he, in a sense, not to say like, "Oh, you're standing up for yourself," like they'd say today. But you're saying, "Hey, wait a second, I'm going to be acknowledged by my name. You know, that's how it's going to go. So I appreciate it. I'm going to do the same for you." People can't do that anymore. Just like people can't do what you're doing. Like, "Hey, did you not hear me talking to them? You interrupted me." People need to be called on that crap more, man.
Yeah, well, being called by your name, that's a big thing. I also hate it, but that is a part of personhood. My name, use my name. I actually had some league bowlers defend me on that because a woman came up to the counter, and not gonna say any names, but she slapped the counter 3 times and said, "Hey, you, I need this." And one of the other bowlers said, "His name is Curtis." And she goes, "Well, I don't know his name." And I said, "He's been here for 10 years. How do you not know his name yet?" And I was like, "Oh, that felt so good. That felt so good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was actually shocked that she didn't know my name because I ran that league for like 8 of the 10 I've been here, and I'd seen her like 3 times a week for the whole time.
Are you really surprised, though? Are you?
I'm arrogant enough to, in this one.
Good answer.
You don't
Good
know
answer.
my name there, and you've been there for a long time. Really? Really?
Good answer. I like it.
I'm shit.
And then your other
Yes.
half to that.
What was the other half I
Yeah,
got
like-
off?
Second half, the better half to end with. Employees that make life better.
Actually, the employees that make life better, it's really simple. And this is going to sound horrible. Do your job. Just do your job. It's not that hard. And we have bad days. Everybody has bad days. Communicate. Do your job and communicate, because a lot of people are understanding. Well, I guess they're not, but I like to be understanding. So if you can do your job and communicate, that makes my day a lot easier.
I will actually have a compliment for you and everybody, really. When I first started working there last year, whenever, I do remember when I first started wearing the little earpiece and started working, I remember thinking, and I think I even told my mom, I was like, I'm surprised how good the communication is between all of the employees. And everybody speaks to each other like they're a person also. Now I'm not, you guys know me, I'm not going to say something just to say something. But I was like impressed, and I very much liked it. I was like, dude, this is awesome. We're talking to each other. We're getting each other's backs. It's clear communication, clear respect.
I don't think that's the thing. I don't think people understand how much is going on behind the scenes when the
Yeah.
center's going.
Yes.
How much it communicates how things are going. If things are going wrong, we're talking everything like that. They don't know how much goes on behind the scenes.
Because I never knew either. Yeah, I had no idea. And I was like, oh, earpieces. Oh, that's cool. But then you're like, shit, they need them.
We didn't have those for the first like 5 years of me being there, and I don't really know how we did it before. I guess it was like a lot of running from point A to point B to relay the smallest messages.
Lowest man on the totem pole, get to bucking. All right.
But no, I mean, but those sum it up. I think I more have dumped on the customers just now than talked about the good part. I mean, I talked about what would make a good customer and then just dumped on a bunch of issues. But it was good to get that off my chest. I feel even lighter than before now.
That is what we're here for. We are here to get away from everything and talk about anything. I like that.
As long as you can get the task done in a timely manner, regardless of hiccups, it shows work ethic. Yes.
Yeah. That's something I'm teaching my kids now. And one of them has natural work ethic and then the other one does not. And I used to get frustrated at him because I would think he would like get himself distracted on purpose to not be doing the work, and be like, dude, let's go work. And that's one thing is like, you don't have to naturally have good work ethic, but you are going to have the ability of fantastic work ethic when needed. So even if it doesn't come naturally to you, that's fine. I get it. Totally understand. But you got to have that ability. Anyway, that was my 2
Thanks
cents.
for that, Ms. Meyer. Hey, Ms. Maya, welcome in.
Who's up next?
Mike,
That's
let's move to yours, buddy.
what do you got? I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it this evening.
BTT accountability.
BTT. Oh my God, help me out here. What did I say?
Accountability. Do you remember, Curtis, what he said?
Left on red.
Oh, yeah. Was it left on red?
Accountability.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to add something else into this too because it just happened recently. So, and Patrick will get a kick out of this because he was one of the original ones I had told about this woman, and I was messaging him on Messenger, and I was telling him, I was like, hey man, like we had good conversation. I said I don't really know what to think, blah blah blah. And he was like, dude, you got to just try. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? And I was like, you know what? And that kind of built up my courage. And then I finally asked, and I got left on red. And, I just kind of was like, okay, cool, whatever. You try to give the benefit of the doubt, try to see if people are busy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, fast forward, there was one Friday night I went up there with JB, and she was our server. And, of course, she's sitting down and she's talking to us about dating and stuff. And I finally just looked at her. I said, yeah. I said, like that time I messaged you and you never replied back to me. It's like Curtis said about putting people on the spot. Like, no, I put you on the spot. She's like, well, I had this. I was like, I don't care. Like, I literally asked you. I said, you didn't even respond. You left me on red. I said, so what about now? She goes, well, I'll let you know. And I said, no. I said, you don't have to let me know. I said, because I got my answer, like, right here. And I was just like, at the end of the day, like I even sent her a message. I said, look, I said, I ain't trying to make things weird here. I said, I'm literally asking this woman to coffee or tea or whatever. I'm not even like trying to ask her on a legit date. Like, go do something, eat dinner, see a movie. I'm literally trying to meet with you at lunch, you know. And I get left on red again. And I was like, okay, fine. And I kept that to myself for a while. And then there's this other woman that I've told you to about. And we're going to protect names are changed to protect the innocent. But woman X, so they give you the impression that they're into you and you're talking to them and everything and you help them. Well, she kind of opened her mouth and inserted her foot last Monday when she told me she was talking to somebody. Now, here's the funny thing. She's going through a divorce. She's not even officially divorced yet. So this is already annoying me because I was like, I wasn't going to say anything to her until after it was all said and done because that's the right thing to do. Okay? And so she then tells me about this guy that she's talking to. She says, yeah, he's in the middle of getting a divorce too. And I finally just looked at her and I said, here's the effing problem, y'all. I said, you're not divorced yet. He's not divorced yet. I said, you're upset that he hasn't messaged you in 5 hours. I said, he's under no obligation to message you because he's still technically legally married. I said, who's to say that him and his wife are not going to work things out? And of course, that kind of upset her, which I didn't really care at that point because I was like, like whatever. And, basically, like you said, confront them about it. People don't want to hear the truth anymore. So basically, in a nutshell, like, don't leave people on red. Like, dude, just tell people you're not interested. I understand we've got some idiots out here in the world that can't take no for an answer, but it's worse on people like me who can take no for an answer, and it really just makes them feel absolutely worthless, that they're not even worth a no. And it's not like I was sitting there trying to get you in the bed. I wasn't even trying to do anything like that. So it's like if they're, just tell them no. You'll be amazed at how many guys will look and go, okay, cool. And that's fine. Like, I think it's funny where like certain women will look at you and go, oh, well, that's it. Well, what do you mean? You're not even going to try? You just said no. I have no energy left to pursue anything when you tell me no, because now it's like you're almost trying to trap me in the fact that you could sit there and say, oh, well, he's harassing me. And I'm not all about that. I am 40 damn years old. Like I'm done with this stuff, man. So it just, again, like I have an issue with people that, again, if you're married and you're going through a divorce, you can wait until you're fully divorced and give yourself some damn time to get yourself together, because you can't tell me that somebody is just like immediately ready after a divorce to jump into another relationship. You can't tell me that. I'm not going to believe it. I don't care what points you bring up to me and tell me otherwise. If it is, it's a small percentage of people. But for the most of us, just to get out of something that you felt like a failure because you did get a divorce, jumping right back into something ain't going to make things any better. That's my personal opinion on that. So take some accountability, work on yourself, get yourself situated. And that's what I told her. I said, y'all don't understand. Like, it has been a really long time since I've been in any sort of kind of relationship. And I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. So anyway, that's my bring it to the table. Just men and women both, goes to both of y'all. If a girl says something to you about liking you and you're a guy and you're not interested, tell them no. Tell them no. And it's the same thing. If you ask a girl out and she says no, just walk away. It's not worth to keep on trying and trying and trying. It's just making it worse on yourself. And you look like an idiot too. So that's my bring it to the table. Just do better, people. Do better.
Very true story. Spot on, lad. That was very good. And
Thank you.
I'll be honest, I've been thinking the past couple of days, like, I don't know what I really have for bringing to the table. And I got to have something because I was giving Curtis shit about not having something. And I jotted something down I was going to go with, but actually one of the comments reminded me is like, oh, I'll talk about this and maybe get some advice on it perhaps. And then that reminded me of something else I really wanted to mention. So it's about the boys, right? You guys know them, you see them all the time. we had a great spring break. You know, they were there for the tournament. We had a blast. You know, Logan loves to do commentary with me, and he's actually really good at it. And the boys are both really getting into working out when we're over here because I have the garage gym, and Logan's been chopping up the wood too. He's got a piece he wants kept aside so he can chop all the way through it. It's been awesome. I ordered bands because Branson really likes doing the pull-ups, which is good. So, hey, sweet, let's work on those and do pyramids because the Marine Corps pull-ups are like. So he has trouble doing a whole lot right now. So I got him resistance bands that he basically asked for. It's like, cool, I'll order them. If you don't know what they are, there's different colors for different poundage to assist you with things. You know.
Yeah.
Long story. I'll get to the first rub. It's a great.
Long story short.
Great spring break, and I'd even ordered a set of resistance bands for him to take to her house, and had already got him last visit. We got him one of those pull-up bars that hooks onto a door frame. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They were all over the barracks. I'd used those forever. Yeah, they're fantastic. So I got him one of those, the bands, and then an encyclopedia of bodybuilding that I had. And I ordered him the Arnold Schwarzenegger Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding because I've ordered that for a lot of people that I felt to start workout. It's fantastic. You don't need anything else. You want to learn how to start working out. Send them with that, and it's clear as day that that's for the both of them. Like, it's clear as day. Do you understand? These are for both of you to use. I want you guys working out together. You don't have to, but they're for both of you. As soon as they get home, Sunday was a long day for us too, man. Because, like, you know, we did the tournament. I'm an idiot. I've had to come back home to get my ball bag, get back to Bowl League. And then as soon as I get home, dude, I'm home less than an hour Sunday night. Logan's texting me saying, Branson says the bands are for him only. He got them with his own money. Because I'd given them some money to spend on spring break. So I'm like, well, tell him to call me. Calls me. I'm like, why are you lying as soon as you get home? And, like, how do you not know that's going to get back to me? Like, right away, you're lying, saying you spent your own money on these. And then, so with me, I don't know, sometimes maybe I go in too much on things because I want to know why. You know what I mean? And then it's tricky with the punishment with that because I want them to learn how to do this stuff. But it's like, dude, you're not going to lie as soon as you leave here when you know crystal clear it's for both of you. So that's just, like, insulting on so many levels to me. So when we talked that night, I said, okay, come up with something because I don't want to have to take that stuff away from you. You know what I mean? But what else do I have? Not to say leverage, but it's like, how do you punish in that particular sense? So I was like, all right, you got tonight to figure out how I threw out. I didn't say, well, I'm going to take all this stuff away from you. It's going to be just Logan's. But I was like, do I need to do that? Do I need to take that to Logan? You can only get that stuff with your money. And because I don't want that. As I'm saying it, I'm like, I don't want this. You know what I mean? This is the last thing that I want because I want them to be doing this stuff. So I was already kind of working something in my head. So I was like, all right, you got till tonight. Call me tomorrow and give me a proposed plan for you to keep using this stuff. Is this too in-depth at that point, do you guys think? Let me ask right here. Or is that something where I should have just been like, dude, don't lie? And then moved on. Or am I already too in the weeds?
I have siblings, and I have a brother, and we had issues like this. And there were many times where, as you said, there were many times where, like, we would have an issue where, like, say the Xbox, and where it's mine, you can't play and everything, where my parents would go, okay, Mark, my older brother, you can't play it. Curtis, go play it. I had that punishment plenty of times. If you couldn't share it, it was one person who was the perpetrator, well, then you lost privilege to that, and the other person got to use it. It was effective because it sucked.
I do similar, but with me, it's kind of like a step farther where I tell them they've gotten really good at this, and it squashes arguing over stupid stuff like who's in the front, who's in the back, who's doing this first, who's doing that first. Because, like, if I need to help you all figure it out, it's going to be bad for both of you. Or like with the Nintendo stuff, I was like, if I have to help you figure out whose turn it is, then neither one of you are playing. And then they figured out really quick.
I've had that so many times with my parents growing up, and it's funny because, not to just go off so much for that, but I use that same philosophy with the leagues at the bowling alley. When they're having conflicts, I tell the secretaries, deal with it, because if it comes to me and y'all can't figure out like adults, I'm taking the toys away from everyone.
And it's not a mass punishment. That's not a mass punishment at all. Believe me, coming from the military, I don't know how familiar everybody is with mass punishment because it sucks. That's not at all what we're talking about here. So yeah, it's like, we'll figure it out, or that plus is not a must. You know what I mean? Like that's not. I'll just take it away because that's an easy fix for me. Figure it out yourselves, or I will.
I always like that one for kids because it teaches them resolution. Figure it out. Because when we got to make this work, because if he comes, we know we're going to play it, so we're going to figure something out.
Dude, it's alleviated so many things. Small, because it's like this is small, minute shit. I don't need to be spending my time hearing about, and I'm not gonna.
Not exactly. Not
Both your asses in the trunk, and nobody rides shotgun or in the back. But no, so no, you didn't derail at all. It makes sense. I appreciate it, and I didn't know. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense about the lying about that stuff? Like, I don't know if I'm too. I don't know.
No,
Well,
you're
I came
giving
up
them
with-
opportunity. It's really simple. You're giving them opportunity to figure a resolution out amongst themselves.
So, well, yeah. But I mean the pull up. I'm back to the specific thing with Branson and the lying about the stuff as soon as I got home. I was wanting to come up with something on his own, but what I kind of concocted and I was hoping he would get to, but he didn't get in close, was like, okay, well, how about you earn the right to keep them? I'm thinking like, all right, we'll put this to good use. So it's not, because I don't want it to become something that's a tedious or a task or something like that. You know what I mean? I love the fact that they're doing this because it's a passion of mine and I want to teach them how to do it and everything. So it's like, all right, how about this? You're telling, because he tells me he uses it all the time. That's what he's telling me. So I was like, okay, bet. And he's already failed the first time. And I told him today soccer because he's supposed to give me a number of how many pull-ups he band assisted just total in one night he does because he says he does them all the time. So I was like, okay, start keeping track because we're going to develop a workout from that because you should be able to increase by a certain amount of pull-ups that we'll figure out and push-ups. And then if you will decide how many you should be to by this time, because that's going to tell me if you're using it or not and doing them, not you telling me we're going to see it. So it's kind of like earning the right to keep them. How does that's what I came up with.
Yeah, give them a chance to prove themselves. That's good.
Yeah, I like it because it keeps accountability, but doesn't take it away. But it puts. I don't want to say it's not just fun, but it's not just all fun anymore.
Right. And they'll say things, especially with the sports, and Branson wants to focus on soccer, which I'm no offense to any soccer people, but I was never a soccer person. And I'll just be honest. I don't enjoy it. Don't enjoy watching it. You know what I mean? I just don't. But I'll go and support him. And if he wants that to be a sport, cool. Let's make you as good at it as you can be because he says he wants to be good. I'm not ever going to, we had this conversation too about, like Tiger Woods starting when he's in his diapers and the Joe Jackson style parents, you know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah.
The twins, the Williams sisters, daddy, but I want you, if you say that you want to be better, then okay, well, I have the equation of how to do that. So now do it. Don't just talk about it, be about it. I can show you how to be about it. So anyway, you get my point. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
Just to let you know,
Thank you for the roses, Maya.
I did not hear
thank
you.
you. I was going to say, just to let you guys and gals know out there, it is 15 minutes till midnight.
I have 11:43 on mine.
Okay, well, round.
Was that your way of saying move on to the White Wolf?
No, I'm just letting you guys know what the deal is because
I was just getting ready to say I was keeping an eye on the clock.
Dustin said he needed a moderator. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at moderating.
Well, I was getting ready to say I was keeping an eye on the clock because I meant to tell Curtis when I first started, keep an eye on the time and reel me back in because I might talk too much on this one. But no, that was pretty much it. Sorry. Yeah, I meant to tell you, reel me in, but
no apologies. You're gravy.
We got through that, and hopefully everything's made sense so far. Now to the fun part. Now is the wide world of sports. Where we're going to start with hockey. And we're talking about, I think, not specifically the Four Nation tournament, but that's kind of what was highlighted lately. What do you guys think?
Well, at the time, it was a big thing.
Yeah. Did you guys
It
watch
was really
any of
good to have the nation unified for a little while.
Curtis, have you seen, it's a few weeks old now because we did have to postpone for a week, but do you know what we're talking about at all?
I know what you're talking about, but it was on at the bowling alley, but I was busy. I didn't get to.
So
watch
that's good. Have you heard anything about it? Like what the Any storylines or anything like that?
The U.S. versus Canada storyline, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. That was everywhere.
Well, what did you hear? Start with you.
There were some unpleasantries that happened during the opening ceremonies, and it kind of fueled fire between the two nations really wanting to take this one. And America won the first match, didn't they?
Yep.
How many games was it? Was it a 3-game? I don't remember.
I
I don't either.
But the general
I just know the
storyline.
final was America and Canada.
Yeah, like Curtis is saying, you're correct. And we're not doing the segment to bash Canada because that's what it was. After it happened, there was a lot of that. But I like some things, kind of second and third order things that I've seen from it, which I'll mention. But yeah, the basic storyline is I think they booed our national anthem the first time we played. Of course, that pissed us off, and I think we booed theirs in turn. But there's a great storyline. I've seen a lot more of it now. It's like two brothers, I think. And if you're in the chat, feel free to correct me at any time. But basically, the Americans decided, like, enough of this shit. Let's go and wreck these dudes for America. Like, everything else be damned, you know? And the fight, there was 3 fights in the opening 9 seconds.
yeah.
The tone. And I think that immediately right there is what pulled everybody in, or at least so many more eyes onto that. And that's kind of to the back end of it, so I don't just keep yapping away. But, of course, immediately afterwards, Canada did end up winning. But I watched that full hockey game with my roommate. Like, I wanted to watch that because of the storyline. And then I'm seeing a lot of these commentators and podcasts and stuff talk about the fact that this isn't to bag the NBA either, but to use them as a comparison, that both countries' players were invested in representing their nation and decided they were going to go give everything they had for everyone, for their country. You know what I mean? That was decided amongst the players. That's why there was all that emotion in there, and that's what pulled people in. Instead of, NBA, where they have, I think they're the lowest right now. I've never liked basketball either, and I think their numbers are really low, but that's why. Because nobody cares about it, that All-Star games become a joke. There's no pride in anything. Surprised we didn't talk about pride earlier. That's a huge one. But that's the storyline of that, and I'll shut up. Michael, what do you got?
We learned about some hockey here.
Yeah, what's your take on that stuff when it happened, Mike?
I mean, I like the fact that it made us a little more united for a little bit. Instead of everybody, on the two-party thing, everybody and their brother was like, because everywhere I watched out there, anytime America scored a goal, everybody went crazy. So there was some unity there, so that was nice. That's kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. I wish we had more of that.
I'm okay with unity. Michael Price is okay with unity. You heard it here first. He's very excited about it.
Yes.
I'm just kidding because I know you feel terrible.
How you felt? No, what you just said about soccer. I can't watch baseball or soccer on TV or hockey, but I can watch it live.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
I
I have
can
to
watch
be
it live
there.
all the time. That's fine.
Totally agree.
Dude, I can't even sometimes watch bowling on TV because it's like, oh my God, really? I mean, unless it was compelling.
I do love to watch it on TV. We were texting a little bit earlier. I've watched the Scorpion and the Viper so far. I still got the rest to go.
Did either one of y'all get a chance to watch the Mike Albee from last Saturday?
I did. And I saw the freaking roll-off. Is that where you're going?
Yes. That kid is the most smoothest two-handed bowler I have ever seen.
Branson,
I mean, absolutely balanced, like perfect form at the line. And I mean, he did. I mean, how many times can you look back and say, hey, I need a strike to tie EJ Tackett to force a roll off? And then, the only reason EJ didn't win that tournament against Andrew Anderson is because he practically bowled a whole other game in that roll off. They went to 7 frames.
Both had the
He was
front 6. They both had 6 in a row, man, on a roll-off.
Yeah. Like I said, he literally practically almost bowled a whole other game.
My roommate, he's not a bowler.
You said earlier, too, that the World Series of Bowling was great, and it was. The thing about it is, somebody showed a clip, I think it was on the PBA Facebook page, after EJ, I think he lost the Chameleon when he lost his match. when he lost that one, somebody took a video of him going over to like another lane to practice and get himself ready for the next one. And they were like, here he is. He lost his match, and then he's over here practicing for the next one. That's some dedication right there. So there's a really simple formula as to why EJ is arguably the best player in the world right now.
And like we were texting before too, probably on his third Player of the Year award.
Yeah, in a row.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Fourth.
And yes, Maya, Ethan Fiore is 20 years old. And that was his first telecast too. Wins a match. Yeah, wins a match, goes against arguably the best bowler in the world and takes him to 7 frames in a roll off and loses. I mean, dude, ain't nothing wrong with that to hold hang your hat on, man.
You can tell though, because like I said, Branson and I were watching live. I even stopped my roommate going up the stairs, who's not a bowler. I was like, dude, I know you don't care about this, but this is what's happening. Yeah, it was after he got his 6th in a row. All that emotion outburst from that. I even I don't know if I said it out loud, but I was like, yeah, he's done. And at that point, I wasn't surprised if EJ was going to win because he popped that emotional load before the win was secured. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, I've held for 6. Yeah, I'm still in it. But then EJ kills it again, and he's done.
Oh, yeah.
Emotional control.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I don't mean to. I don't mean to down talk at all.
No. What did you take from the World Series of bowling?
Like I said, I saw the Mike Aubrey. Was that it? Like right before. Yeah, that. And then I've only seen so far the Viper and the Scorpion. So I'm gonna.
I'm sorry, I ruined the Chameleon for you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all, dude. EJ's on every telecast anyway, man.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, he had the luck going on his side with the Shark. Did you watch the Shark?
Not yet. I'm only in the first 2.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Just wait till you watch that match with him and Andrew Anderson. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I bet, dude. They've got such a sick rivalry going this season too. And Aaron's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's coming off a big win. But I have really liked it though. The one so far, the Swede that ended up winning. The Scorpion, but it was almost the Malaysian dude. Wasn't he the number 1?
Singapore.
And then Malaysia, won tonight. That was cool. I say tonight. I just finished it before this. But I've really liked that so far, how they're more integrated. And I thought he was going to, when he missed that 7-pin, I was like, oh, dude, it's over. Because you can't do that against EJ, man. But he held on. It was really cool to see. Yeah, thanks for throwing that name on there.
The call of the Cthulhu still stands out.
Yes. But I'm loving it. Well, all right, we feel good about hockey. We want to move on.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I thought we were on bowling.
We were, but that wasn't even. Well, I'd mentioned it about talking PBA during the next podcast, but I don't know yet. College football, Mike. This was yours that you put down, and then I added a little bit to it that I saw from the news from old Prime Time the other day. So. You want to start us on that one?
Well, it seems like that the colleges are going to get away from their spring games. That is what is the latest in the wide world of sports, if you will. And the reason for that is because of the transfer portal is one of the main reasons I'm reading. Because it's like after the spring practice is done, the players can transfer right after that because they're already getting like a good idea of whether or not they're going to be starting or whatever the case may be, which I think is incredibly silly. That they've got to my opinion, they've got to get some control over like when and how many times that the transfer portal can stay open. There has to be. I'm not against it. I'm just saying they got to have some sort of regulation towards it because it's gotten really out of hand. And I know the people that'll come on here and say, well, there's more parity in college football. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there is. The 12-team college football playoff, I thought everybody got what they got. I mean, Ohio State won it as the 7 or 8 seed, one of the two, because like I said, they, it's just they're trying to cause more parity. So. But the transfer portal is kind of the biggest issue.
What you got?
You're saying with the transfer portal, it's just a free for all. There's no.
Oh no, you could literally go into the transfer portal and transfer to your school you were at. You could, like, an Alabama player can go in after spring practice and say, "I'm going to recommit to Auburn," or "I'm going to go to Georgia."
But
Remember when we
I'm
went over
going to go
the,
to Florida.
remember we went over the NIL?
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no cutoff for it.
They have a cutoff. It's just they're talking about trying to put some sort of regulation into play, like that, like after the championship week, where all the conferences have their title games, the portal opens up. That's why you don't see a lot of people play in the bowl games that there are now, because the the frequency behind it is like, oh, well, it's a meaningless bowl game, and it has basically made some of these bowl games absolutely inept. And you got people in their ear, like, getting agents and everything, going, "Hey man, you're looking like you're going to be a top 5 draft pick, and if you get hurt in this bowl game, well, obviously that's going to hurt you in the long run because of being injured." And you got these people that are like, "Well, I'm just going to sit out. I'm going to sit out the bowl game." And there's twofold way to think about that. You're thinking about your future. I get that, but you could get hurt at any time. They give you that contract, and guess what? You go out there week 1 on the second play of the season, and you could tear your Achilles, and you're done for the season. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. The Jets gave Rodgers all that money, not this past season, but the season before, and like 2 or 3 plays in, he tears his Achilles. So now the Jets are responsible for a certain amount of dead money, and they can't get anything out of it because they're committed to it because it's Aaron Rodgers. So now it's kind of gotten it the same way to the collegiate. And again, I don't have a problem with the players getting paid. I've never had a problem with it because they've gotten paid regardless. And I think that is the issue with the whole thing with me is that one time or another, like the example is Reggie Bush. They completely condemned Reggie Bush, took his Heisman away from him, and then as soon as NIL becomes a thing, oh, well, then the NCAA reinstates his Heisman Trophy victory. So it's like that's garbage. You should have never took that away from him. So I mean, again, I don't know where it's going to. I know it's causing these college football coaches to have to evolve and adapt again. And and even like the people that are greatest, like Nick Saban, they asked him, what was the reason behind your retirement? And Saban literally sat there and told everybody, he goes, it has nothing to do with NIL, has nothing to do with the transfer portal. He goes, I had a hard time getting through the 23 season. It was a very difficult season. And he had these recruits in his ear wanting to make sure he was going to be able to commit for another 3 or 5 years. And y'all got to understand, Saban's in his almost mid-70s. So, I mean, on his part, I totally understand it.
Looks great.
So
I wouldn't have put him at that age.
yeah, no, he is. Like I said, he is. He's had his hip replaced and everything. I'm just saying, but at the end of the day, it's just like, and he makes a lot of points. You don't know if you're going to be there in a year or two. And we saw what happened when he retired. It was a maximum exodus where Bama lost a lot of players to the transfer portal because of his retirement. So, I kind of feel like that if something like this happens, you can't just automatically open the transfer portal and go, hey, let's do this. And the reason behind it is because people like Dan Lanning, who coaches Oregon, and then Kirby Smart, they were in Tuscaloosa the day that he announced his retirement. So these guys are already going in there trying to recruit players. Now tell me that something doesn't add up with that. Like, at the end of the day, my personal thought is okay, cool. Wait till they name the next coach. Get the coach a chance to come in there, talk to the players, and see what kind of impression he does. Because I guarantee you some of the players that transferred after Saban retired, they could have flourished under DeBoer's system, pending that if Jalen Milroe was not the quarterback. That's just my 2 cents on that. That's me talking as a Bama fan. He was not very good. He was no Bryce Young. He was no Mac Jones. He was no Tua Tagovailoa, and he was no Jalen Hurts. And maybe he gets drafted in the pros, and maybe he becomes something that's just absolutely great, and that's fantastic. But we'll see. But, again, college football, the restructuring is happening in front of our faces.
Oh, it's happened.
And, huh?
It's happened, and we saw it last season.
Yeah, exactly. And they're even talking about more discussions of, dude, Greg Sankey was talking about having like a 14 conference playoff championship, like a semifinal, and then the actual SEC championship, since there are no divisions anymore. And then other conferences are talking about doing the same thing because it provides more compelling football, and obviously it gives people chances or other teams chances, which that's fine because I mean, again, like I think of the New York Giants in 2011 when they were the sixth seed in the playoffs, and they ran roughshod and beat Tom Brady and took another ring from him. That's my example. So anybody can be beat on any given day. That's fine, but it's just like who deserves to be in truthfully based on whatever strength of schedule, this, that, there, and yonder, and it's like where's the game going? And I just think that the game is going for more parity. That's all. That they're
That's
going
why
for more
everyone.
parity.
That's why everyone appreciated the Four Nation tournament so much,
Mm-hmm.
because our sports are just like you said. You understand people sitting out, just like in the All Star game, they don't want to play. I mean, it's because there's why should we be invested when you're more invested in yourself than a team? So,
Exactly.
I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, dude, and I'm not a passionate college fan. I never have been. I used to love to watch Oregon play when I was there and everything. But yeah, you know that. You and I have talked about it. You and me and Branson have talked about it. Branson and I have talked about it a million times. It's like it is now a different sport than it was. It will never be what it was. It's no longer sacred. There's no more dynasties. It's a mini NFL.
Yes, it is.
So,
Well, speaking of mini NFL, I think that brings us to our next one. The UF.
that was really good. That was
Tell us
really
about
good.
it.
Yes, UFL. I saw somebody. Hey, Maya, is that when you said Go Knights? Was that a football team? Because I have
No, that's a hockey team.
Okay. Because I pulled up the UFL website, and I think Curtis mentioned this before. Somebody mentioned it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that, and I forgot. I didn't know we had the Birmingham Stallions of the UFL, United Football League, right here.
Yep.
We have the USFL conference and the XFL conference. The
Yep.
USFL is the Birmingham Stallions, the Houston Roughnecks, the Memphis Showboats, and the Michigan Panthers. Panthers, y'all.
Mhm.
The XFL is the Arlington Renegades, the DC Defenders, the San Antonio. What?
San Antonio who?
I don't know. I want to say Brown, but Brahmas, the San Antonio.
Oh.
Huh?
The Brahma.
Yeah, that one.
Like Brahma Bull?
A Brahma Bull.
Yeah.
Nailed it with that one. And the
Yep.
St. Louis Blackhawks. So, I've never watched a game of this that I can recall yet. But it starts March 28th. I'm actually
Get yourself invested in a Birmingham Stallions game because they're the defending champions.
I love that, dude. I want to go to a game. Y'all
They're
down?
down in Legion Field in Birmingham, bro.
Dude, we could rock the DGAB jerseys. Be fun.
That will be fun.
So, anybody out there watch UFL? Are you guys? Well, obviously you're a football fan. So, have you watched it before, Mike?
Yep.
So, for somebody that hasn't yet, they ask, "What's the comparison between the NFL? Is it still entertaining? You like watching it? Do you get to know players that stand out?"
It's a lot of players that didn't make it in the NFL, and there's a lot of players you'd recognize from like some of your favorite college teams and everything. It's just like it's kind of like almost a developmental league, and that's what The Rock did. He ended up like the USFL when it was in its final league year where the Stallions won, and then the XFL, which he had, and they had their final season. He decided to go UFL. And you know how like you got the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. Well, they took the XFL conference, the USFL conference, and then they have a championship game for both of those. And then those winners go to like the Super Bowl-esque of the UFL to see who the UFL champions are. And again, Birmingham is a really good team, and a lot of the guys from Birmingham, I'm not sure how good they'll be this year, but Some of them, it's actually helped them reignite their NFL careers. So it's definitely doing its job. Good stuff to watch, though. I recommend it.
That sounds awesome. I think I wanted to last year, and then I just forgot about it, I guess. But I can watch it on football. What about you, Curtis? Are you a football?
Not really. I didn't know the UFL, whatever it was, existed until you brought it up. The last time I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Who I feel like we got to give the XFL a shout out just because we're talking about it. And then also the last one that we move into being Vince McMahon. But what's football? What's up, Victor? But yeah, I'm very excited about this because that's one of my favorite sports to watch is football. Or even if I'm not watching the game, I just feel better when there's a football game on the TV. I don't know if that makes sense.
Football
Makes perfect sense.
Football is something I never followed, but I can get into a game when it's on.
Yeah.
And I don't. Oh yes, the quality H2O. And this may sound weird, or almost contradicting the fact that I like football. Like one of my favorites to watch, if not favorite. But it's so good to nap to also.
Yeah.
Have you ever napped during an NFL game, knowing you still have you're going to wake up and football's still going to be on?
I've napped during a baseball game.
Baseball's coming back soon too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, Otani is doing it over there in Japan in that Tokyo series against the Cubs.
I just saw that
Uh-oh.
advertised.
There we go. Now he's back.
We lost you for a second.
Yeah.
I dropped out.
But just briefly. Just briefly. All right.
All right. Well, I think is that moving on to our last topic for Wide World of Sports is it officially the season? Is it WrestleMania?
It is.
Has it been?
It
has
is,
it been
it is WrestleMania season.
So
I'm gonna let
Ma'am, thank you very much.
Curtis take that.
Okay, well, first off, Curtis, for us, please, because I've seen all the old WrestleManias and stuff, right? But I'm still unfamiliar with the concept of a WrestleMania season.
It starts at the Royal Rumble
Okay.
because that's where you're gonna have your big first setup. Because the winner of the Royal Rumble gets the match at WrestleMania, so that's the start of it.
Okay. And then they did Elimination Chamber recently. Okay. So when is WrestleMania?
April 15th and 16th.
I thought it was
It's somewhere in the team.
I thought it was the 20th.
Yes, 19th and 20th.
Yeah.
Are there any set matches yet, or is it still too early in the storyline?
Jey Uso against Gunther for the world title. Cody and Cena for the Undisputed. And that's about all I can think of right now.
Didn't Uso and Gunther just fight?
Yes,
They're trying to do a build up for that.
Well, why are they still pushing that storyline?
because they're locked in. They had Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble, and so they have to see this through, no matter how traumatic it.
But I mean, didn't that happen right after Gunther beat Uso?
No.
They did fight before, the two of them, before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And Gunther beat him, and then Uso came back out talking smack and everything, and then he wins the Rumble, and it's like,
Yeah,
am I wrong on that?
That storyline, they start some of the stories before WrestleMania season to give the Royal Rumble more significance. So you have that already in the background. Gunther and Jay fought before. Gunther's champion. Now Jey Uso's won, and he's beat him before. So, I mean, can he beat him again? Is he going to overcome this time? Things like that.
What are you guys thinking? Who are you taking?
In that match, I don't like either one of them. So I think
So basically, Curtis don't care.
Gunther's a boring champion, and Jey Uso is a really decent mid-card guy who is not a main eventer who should not be there in that position.
Very good hype man. Very good hype man.
That's about it.
Excellent hype.
But the other match, the other
Right
big
too, the women's world title too.
Yeah, what are the other matches?
the other big match that everybody's talking about, is the John Cena and Cody Rhodes, in which is my subject, John Cena and the infamous heel turn that people are comparing to Hulk Hogan's heel turn.
Yeah, do you want to go into that?
It was one of the best things I've ever seen. And Michael knows I am a long time, for the whole 22 years of Cena's career, I have hated him. Never once have I liked him. I told him, Monday? I said, for the first time in my life, I want Cena to win at WrestleMania. I need this.
So he's fighting Cody Rhodes for one of the belts, whatever Cody's got.
But he's doing it as a heel. And for those who don't know, heel is the bad guy, which is something that people have wanted for Cena for years, and we finally got it.
So what do you guys think on this one? Yeah, this one's way bigger than Uso and Gunther. I kind of agree with you too. So what's going to happen with this one, man? What are people saying?
That's a tough one, because did you get a chance to look at the promo I told you?
No, I thought about it, but then I was like, I just wanted to hear it from you. I haven't watched it.
Cena came out and completely eviscerated all of the fans who had booed him, all the fans who had ever cheered for him. He was just like, screw all of you guys. Whether you loved me or hated me, you all used me, took from me, and abused me. And I hate you all, pretty much. And it was more spread out over the course of, 10 minutes? But it was like the best promo he's ever done in his entire career, in my opinion. And what I would like to see is for him to win at WrestleMania and take the belt, and then for Cody to spend the rest of John Cena's time here chasing him, because Cody's a terrible champion, in my opinion. And Cody's one of those wrestlers where the story to get the belt is better than him having the belt. So I think they needed to go with that, pretty much. Cody chasing Cena. Cena being the worst champion he could possibly be in his twilight hours of his career.
Yeah, so speaking of twilight hours, because this is his retirement tour, right? So when is he done? When does he drop the mic?
When exactly is that, Mike?
At the end of the year.
So he's going to just the end of the year, okay.
A calendar year, or is there...
So he will not be making it back to WrestleMania 42.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was going to say, how long is Chase done? Because everybody knows he's done.
Probably Survivor Series or the last pay-per-view of the year, if I had to guess.
Well, then Cody can get it back at Survivor Series, but Cena needs it. And I hate that he's getting 17 and he'll beat the record for the most championships ever won, because it's a fake number.
Talking about Cena, if he gets it?
Yeah, they'll say he has the most record, but Ric Flair has 28 actual titles, but WWE only recognizes 16 of them.
Well,
so Cena can win it, and he'll beat the official record, but Ric Flair's got, so many more other ones.
and I think everybody that knows wrestling and knows Ric Flair knows you can't really compare those two.
No.
So, yeah. I thought it was hilarious with the heel turn. I thought that was one of the funniest things I'd heard of.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And, yeah, the stuff I've seen since it's happened has been hilarious. And like we were talking about the other day, he still sold 20% merch. He's still slinging merch like a madman.
I think one of my favorite parts of that promo is he was like, and you were expecting me with a new look. He goes, I don't dress like you. You dress like me.
Have you guys seen him? He almost turned heel before. Have you guys seen him talk about that? And you could tell when he was, like, he really wanted to be a heel. He wanted to play a bad guy. And he was already in that mindset. So I think he is having the time of his life being a heel right now. I think he's loving every second of this.
I think he is, but I also wondered with the promo he did, it was so raw and so captivating. It was like, how much of this is actually what he thinks about the fans? Because, no offense, Cena did, I'm going to say this, he did put in some work. And there's at a point where the fans turned on him. No matter what he did, they were brutal to him.
22 years if you're around and a good guy, that's going to happen.
But so I wonder how much he was really F you to the fans for real. And that one kid he pointed out that just didn't see it coming.
That was pretty funny.
He said, I love you, Cena.
What did he call him? Was it a freeloader? Didn't he call him something specific?
He said he said the kid, but he said the kid is a toxic relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I think it's hilarious. I'm here for it. All right, so
Mr. Maya, good night. Thank you for joining us.
with all of those that we've mentioned so far, hockey, college football, UFL, WrestleMania. Oh, WrestleMania, last thing that I sent you guys. I'm excited about the
I
roast.
saw that. I saw the
WrestleMania.
trailer for.
Curtis
I think
Looking
Frozen.
forward to that myself.
Yeah, dude. And have you? Yeah, I don't know. I know. I think I had to tell you about the Kill Tony show and Tony Hinchcliffe and all that stuff, or you've seen him before. But he's a master at the roast right now, and he's really at the top of it because he did the Tom Brady one, and of course, Kill Tony stuff's all over. I'm super excited about that. Do we think it's going to go off the rails, and how bad?
What do you say? Go off the rails? What do you mean?
Well, because even the Tom Brady one, I don't know if you've seen any of that.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
And that was Tom Brady. This is WrestleMania. Just one meme that I saw was something alluding to like, as soon as he brings up Benoit, it's over.
I was gonna say there's some don't bring up Benoit, don't bring up Vince at all.
He's going to start with all of that stuff, dude. That's what Tony does. He's starting there. But I mean, there are so many things. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be great. It's going to be huge.
Huge. It is going to be huge.
Huge.
So with those things we've talked about, because I know, Mike, you're doing a great job. You're struggling a little bit, buddy, but hanging in there. So those topics we've talked about so far, if anybody out there wants to chime in with thoughts on this stuff, maybe I almost said something there would have been funny, but I did not. But yeah, this is the time to do so. Chime in your thoughts. What are some other things that he could dig up? Some random things that you remember? I guess it's just WrestleMania, though. It's not
Probably,
like
he'll probably shit on Hogan. That'll be
I was gonna
funny.
say.
It's so easy to do right now.
it seems that way. I did see. Oh, Patrick, yeah. Who thinks Stone Cold's coming back? Man, I would love
What?
that, but we'll get a glimpse of. Do what?
No Stone Cold. I'm sick of my childhood wrestlers coming back as shadows of themselves and ruining their memories.
And I think he
What?
knows that too. He's like, nah, I would love that as much as you would, but I'm an old man.
Talk
What?
to you, Undertaker.
What?
Did I send you the Rock and Stone Cold one? That shit had me dying. I think we even talked. What? I don't know how.
Yeah.
Stone
December
Cold-
2001.
Oh my
December
god.
2001. I remember that.
God, that was so good. That had me dying. Man.
I think we've just about went over everything, have we not?
I think so.
No, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody out there. And yes, Dustin, I am really struggling here right now. Like, that's why I was leaning back and letting you guys talk. Because I mean, like, oh my God, it's
you're
just
good, brother.
it's been a day.
We got through it. We needed to. No, you appreciate you doing this right now, Curtis. I greatly appreciate you doing this. Literally the second you walk in the door. And I don't know if Amber can hear me, but thank you to Amber for tolerating us and all the stuff that we do, because he's always on here with our StreamYard calls and the this that we're doing and another live and a podcast. So we do appreciate everybody. We
I can
really
see you walking around in the background.
She's not stomping through here yet, so we're good. Kyle,
Hello,
start with
boys.
you, dude.
That sounds like a pretty good end to the
There's Kyle.
Santino Marella title run.
You can fight John Cena.
John
Cena.
You got a big mouth, John Cena.
I still like when Kane went up to Santino. I watched the clip and he goes, where is CM Punk? He goes, oh my God, Kane, have you checked the Pepsi machine?
Kyle just said he's really excited for the upcoming podcast.
I had already said,
Oh yes,
yeah, dude, we are too, man.
yeah, we are freaking stoked.
We have a great episode for everybody out there. We've already put our heads together and come up with it. It's an easy one. It's going to be a fantastic episode. So we're all looking forward to it.
Yep, happening on Saturday, April 12th at 6 p.m. Central Time. We will be talking with the Parkway Memorial Tournament champion, Kyle Harris, here in the chat.
What?
That means the champion.
What?
I cannot believe I didn't know it was 316 on Sunday when Kyle won.
Yes, it was. It's pretty badass.
It's extremely badass.
And as Santino Morella says, those are the bottom lines.
Yeah, I just saw that one the other day. He had some great ones with Stone Cold. And I love how Stone Cold corrected him, too.
Dustin told me all day I was winning. I told him no all day. Well, you did it, though, so that was great. And but then he decided, I'm going to come in and bowl the Monday Night League, and I'm just going to blow my wad and only shoot 620. And we only won 10 points from Nicholas's team.
That'll actually be interesting to talk about on the show.
I told him, I said, Kyle, I said, take a day off. We will take your 228 blind.
You're 228 blind.
Yeah. He dropped a pin because of that 620. Now he's 237. Kyle is trying. Yeah, that's not with me, Kyle. I don't give two shits about that, buddy. We're talking about Monday night here.
Monday night.
Great job, 760. Way to go, buddy.
I expect another victory from Kyle and Lou in the doubles tournament.
Mm-hmm. We do have that coming up this Sunday, too. That's going to be good. I got at least 8 teams confirmed for that.
Nice.
As long as they show up for this.
Saturday, we're doing a little bit of filming ourselves to get a new drop coming out soon.
Yep. That is tentatively scheduled. Like I said, I really hope that this stomach bug can get lost. I'm just saying. Like it can go away now.
Yes.
I need summertime Lou back for one day. Oh man, yeah. That's why we give Lou so much shit, because he was averaging 236 in the summer league with me, Kyle, and Lou, and I was actually lead off at 231. Boy, none of those teams liked us that summer. Oh my God.
They don't like you guys anytime.
No, that was the worst. Oh my God. That's the time where we had people going, we're going to vote to have y'all disband it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I said, we won't bowl this league at all if that's the way y'all want to go about it. I'm sorry. I cannot stand people that just, hey, instead of us trying to put a team together, get out there and practice and bust our ass so that we can be better, be just as good or better as y'all are, we just want to get y'all disbanded. And I'm like, I don't like that. I think that's a chicken shit way to do things. So,
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
It was America.
So I thought this was
again, at the end of the day. Like I said, chicken shit way to do things, man. Do better, people. Do better.
Look inward.
Look inward. Yes, I agree.
Don't get me started on that shit. Yes.
No, I think that's a good place to wrap it up there, buddy.
Yeah, good show. Good job hanging tough. And Mike, I'll let you
Yes.
take this out, bud. Good job hanging through it.
Yeah.
Curtis, again, thanks. Thank you, everybody.
I
being
did
here.
it.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
man. So first and foremost, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Another thank you goes to Dustin and Curtis. I appreciate you guys as always. Very intricate part of the brand. Y'all mean more to me than you'll ever know, and I so appreciate that. And everybody else out there, appreciate your continued support of the DGAB brand. We are rocking and rolling towards May, which is the Derek Tate Memorial. And another thing, I got a message tonight for I'll let everybody know out here. Barbara asked me if she could bowl in the tournament. And I said, Barbara, I'm never going to tell you no. She said, I know I'm probably not going to win, but I want to bowl in honor of Derek. And I said, I will never tell you no. So Miss Barbara, his mom, is going to be bowling in her son's tournament, her memorial tournament. So that's going to be a really fun thing. She even asked me if I should drill the ball that I got for her. And I said, no, let's just find something else. We don't want to drill that ball. Let's keep that on display, and let's keep that rocking and rolling. So
That'd be kind of sick, though, dude. I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm not at all. That'd be kind of sick if she tossed that in the tournament, though.
yeah, but the bad part about the graphics balls is as soon as they get a nick, that's it.
Oh, really? Okay. That's not, yeah. Like, you guys know way more than me on it, but that would be sick.
Yep.
But that's either way.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, she wants to bowl, and I told her, I said, I'm not going to tell you no, Barbara. She goes, well, I really want to, and I said, you got it. So she's going to be bowling
Love it.
May 18th. So I'm really looking forward to that, and so that's going on. But as always, guys and gals, please don't forget to like, follow, and even subscribe. We're trying to rebuild the subscription stuff back up since a lot of stuff is leveling out for us. We're at 25 right now. We want to try to get to 50 if at all possible. So consider that $2.99 a month. And if you're a subscriber now, keep that going, because come around mid to late July is going to be DGAB Bowling Boot Camp, which all of our subscribers, it'll be a subscriber only live, and you guys will have free access to it if you're a subscriber. It's going to be testing the limits of everybody. But at the end of the day, if you want to be a better bowler, and you want to be able to perform on a mental level that is unlike anything you've ever seen before, then I constantly I want to encourage you to think about getting yourself ready for it in July. So, but we're rocking and rolling that. So like I said, like, follow, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Facebook, give us a like and follow on our Facebook page. Give us a subscribe on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. That's where we're at. So for me, the Damn Good Average Bowler, Michael Price, for Dustin, for Curtis, appreciate you guys. And guess what? 2 weeks we'll have another episode probably. Is that
Yeah, buddy.
I guess that's
Episode 6, After Dark. To get away from everything and talk about anything.
I like it. All right. Well, y'all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for your time. And we're getting off here.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.